Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Limis. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The Office of the Governor is keeping an eye on all records from the House investigation. Also tonight, a woman from San Antonio is missing. Police are asking for your help. And the heart of Saipan will soon get a facelift. In sports, the NMI wants to join the Olympics. Why can't we? Who knows? Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
You are everything that matters to me, and I promise to do whatever it takes to keep you healthy, to be comfortable, and to be free. I love you. As long as we're together, I'll always make sure that home will always be our best place to breathe.
I got my COVID-19 vaccine. How about you?
Akamlango or sugla COVID-19 gamlango or sung.
Esta usually is COVID-19 vaccine za agu.
I did it for my kids.
I did it for my friends.
I did it for my family.
I did it for you.
I did it.
Let's do it.
Do it for us.
Let's do it together.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day to the Wami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, September 20, 2021. The Governor's Legal Counsel is requesting to see all the records and documents used in the House investigation. Through an Open Government Act, the Office of the Governor's Legal Counsel, Gilbert Burnbridge, is requesting access to inspect and copy all public records in possession of the House Committee on Judiciary and Governmental Operations. Kevin Bautista, who is the governor's press secretary, states their goal from the very beginning is about consistency and transparency.
The OGA request that we're doing to the JGO committee is to make sure that we are consistent with the documentation that they receive, as well as the documentation that we currently have on file. Moreover, we also want to be consistent about what they have officially recorded in their books with audio recordings, audio-visual recordings, and transcripts of the testimonies and exhibits that they've entered to the record during those hearings.
Bautista says they just want to make sure they are all on the same page.
And there's nothing to hide. We've been transparent, and we asked the House JGO committee to do the same by sharing with us what they have on file with their audio recordings, their transcripts of their testimonies, and the exhibits that they've officially put on record. So there's fairness and equity involved in the process.
The OGA was addressed to JGO Chairwoman Selena Babauta, who says the OGA is currently under review with the House Legal Counsel. Babauta also shared that the committee has not yet issued a subpoena to Governor Torres. There is no timeline as of now, and there are still other witnesses they want to process before moving forward with the governor. In response to that, Bautista states their structure seems premeditated.
It seems very premeditated in terms of their structure. And if we're talking talking about an estimated timeline and working with the schedule of the committee members and the availability of the House chamber, since the very beginning of the 22nd House of Representatives, House chamber has been used mostly by the House JGO committee, and the House Democratic leadership with the 22nd legislature has only produced 6 public laws. So the priority for this leadership apparently is the House JGO committee, and the governor has nothing to hide. It's been mentioned before. He said it before, and we continue to be on standby for the process.
As the governor awaits the subpoena, his attorney Ross Garber is working with their legal counsel on preparations. Bautista states he believes the expenses for hiring Garber will be paid by the office of the governor. Chairwoman Bautista states the committee has approved subpoenas for police officers Kevin O'Don, Flora Ogun, Joey Cruz, and for the previous and current finance secretary Larissa Larson and David Attelig. The Department of Public Safety is seeking your help in locating a missing person. Leona Charlie from the village of San Antonio has been missing for 3 weeks now. According to Charlie's son, on the evening of September 4, Charlie began getting upset toward his siblings. Then, an hour later, Charlie left the residence and haven't returned home. The son states his mother frequently leaves the residence but always returns home. The family states the last clothing Charlie was seen wearing was a blue sweater and a black skirt. If you or anyone you know has information on the whereabouts of Leona Charlie, please call 911. Her safety is of utmost concern to the department and her family members. The House Committee on Gaming called in the head of the Casino Commission on Friday to discuss online gaming.
This particular bill for internet gaming, there are several red flags that have been raised, and I'm sure our vice chair and colleagues will bring them up. But I think we just need to look no further than our own history with regard to that. I can tell you we were promised a $7 billion industry with the casino, with IPI, and fast forward today. The CCC is in need of, I think, $1 million to continue to operate.
Executive Director of the Gaming Commission, Andrew Yom, testified Friday and gave the committee some projections for online gaming. Yom provided the House with a forecast that called for up to 340,000 users who gamble online within the CNMI shores by 2025. He came up with these numbers by first forecasting visitor arrivals and then estimating participation rates and their spend.
So that's the number we got, and that'll be the number that to be applied in the domestic market projection. So keep that in mind. Go to the next page, please.
And I'm sorry, what percentage of those 340,000 visitors do your projections assume will actually be placing online bets?
So that'll be 40%.
40% of those visitors.
Of that, yes. Whether you believe the number or not, that's up to you. I mean, I like I said, I cannot guarantee these numbers either. These are potential numbers.
Yom also told lawmakers the CNMI had the potential to attract offshore users, and this could mean revenues of up to $450 million by 2025. Lawmakers saw these potential numbers as a stretch and voiced doubts about investing in the industry.
What marketing would that entail? And also, we need to think of what it would cost, as we had mentioned previously, the discussion that we had, that if we were to move with internet gaming, you stated yourself that you would have to obviously really increase the number of employees that you have. Is that not correct?
Yes, I would have to. I would have to have proper staffing. That means I would have to have some more increase. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to increase so much to start with. But eventually, as the industry grows, you will need more staffing. That's kind of proportionate to how it grows, right? So we could kind of start with what we got and grow from there. There's a lot of work to be done. A ton of research to be done, but that's what it is going to take. But we can start basically from what we have now.
And that is my concern from a fiscally conservative point of view, is that we are going to invest in all these employees, and if it doesn't pan out, then what have we spent? We've seen, again, not just in this industry, but other industries, perfect example, the Cannabis Commission. We were promised $1 billion industry. Somebody was smoking some serious cannabis when that was put out, that figure. But nonetheless, that was what was projected, that we will be making tons and tons of money on the cannabis industry. And lo and behold, we're not even making enough to pay for the salaries of the commissioners, who make more than double our salaries here for meeting a couple of times a month.
2 firms have submitted bids for redesigning Western Garapan. Chris Concepcion is spearheading the revitalization effort and says work should begin in the coming months.
So next steps from here is to go through the selection process, award a contract for the firm that's going to essentially design the area. So that's going to take another couple weeks throughout the whole process, we estimate. And then from there, we award a contract and give us, I don't know, 4 or 5 months roughly to do survey. We need to do another survey of the area, just to kind of point out the boundaries of the project. And then from there, the designers will have to go through the whole place. And I want them to be really meticulous about it and go through each property and walk the area and see what it is that we need to do to make that place much more, world-class. And part of the scope of work that we put in for the A&E Design Services is for a landscape architect, because we all know that that's really key to make sure that this place looks nice. We need solid landscaping. So,
with the casino kind of future unknown, what does that impact what you're doing in Garapan?
In terms of our project itself, no, it doesn't. Because we're taking care of the public infrastructure that's in the public right-of-ways, and so the casino itself is sort of a separate situation. However, of course, the Garapan Revitalization Task Force is keeping an eye on the project and everything else that's happening in the area, because the future development and the completion of that project is key for the overall success of the revitalization project.
One of the first big changes that has already happened in the area, the introduction of one-way streets. Concepcion says feedback has been mixed.
That's a work in progress. As soon as this project rolls out and it finally comes to completion, I think everybody's going to appreciate the one-way streets, because it's just going to make things flow a lot more better.
What are the future plans for parking? There's been talk of a parking structure. What do you see the next couple of years parking? Any big changes or no?
Well, in terms of public parking located on the public right-of-ways, our project will include street parking along all the inner streets and even along Beach Road. So it's going to add, the last estimate we got from DPW was about 280 new parking stalls. So that's going to be really exciting for the people and for the business community in that area, where we do know that parking is lacking.
Will those be metered or free?
That's something that's going to come up at a later time. We don't, at this point in time, I think it's just not the right time to charge people for parking. It's going to affect the business community, and it'll affect the local people who frequent the area. So there are no plans at this time to implement any paid parking meters.
Okay. And then last question, as you think of it today, when do you think the project will be done? What are you looking at internally as a date?
That's a tough one. So the grant that we got from EDA is a 5-year grant. Our internal estimates were that we could probably pull this off within 3 years, given, barring any problems with labor and construction materials and supplies. But hopefully, this with the A&E phase about to commence here soon, we expect to issue an RFQ for construction services, ITV, hopefully in the first quarter of next year, and then from there, award a contract and then start construction. So it's exciting. I ask for everybody's patience and really support as we move this project forward, because it's really critical for the CNMI's long-term economic growth and potential, that this area be paid special attention.
Coming up, in this pandemic, it's important to stay healthy. Stay tuned for more insight.
Hafaday Sinamai, did you know that car crashes are the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 13? In order to keep your children safe during a car crash, make sure you select the right type of car seat for their age and size. A rear-facing car seat should be used from birth to 12 months or up to 3 years old. Forward-facing car seats are for children from 1 to 3 or up to 7 years old. Booster seats are for children from 4 to 7 or up to 12 years old. Seat belts are for children 8 to 12 years old or older. For a seat belt to fit properly, the lap belt must lie snugly across the upper thighs, not the stomach. The shoulder belt should lie snugly across the shoulder and chest and not across the neck or face. Do not move your child to the next car seat level until he or she reaches the top height and weight limit allowed by your car seat's manufacturer. Remember, your children are the most precious cargo when driving. Keep us safe and buckle us in. We depend on you. Thank you.
One of the best things you can do during the pandemic is to get yourself healthy and strong. Gold's Gym is a great place for a tune-up. Wide open workout spaces with dedicated cardio, free weights and machines, personal training, group exercise, and good nutrition. Short-term daytime promo on sale now, just $159 for 3 months. Call 233-4000.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. Now, in its 26th year of operation, Gold's Gym has made some pandemic changes and wants to encourage the community to exercise inside or outside as a way to boost the immune system and maintain good health.
As the pandemic drags on, many are realizing that one of the best ways to fight off potential infections is to get healthy.
So regular exercise, whether it's cardiovascular exercise or strength training, both of those are going to really help out with your immune system.
Gold's Gym General Manager Tice Mister says the locally operated gym made some changes during the pandemic that are here to stay, including a new ARA air filtration system and a new layout.
Cleanliness has always been a big part of what we do, but just changing a few things just to make it even more safe.
The World Health Organization recommends 150 minutes of moderate intensity or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity per week, or a combination of both.
You know, during the pandemic, since I think we've been really fortunate in our community to be able to be open. So we've been open since June of last year. And, you know, a lot of people were a little bit shy about coming back. And then once they started coming back, they realized how much they missed exercise, regular exercise coming back. And I think a lot of people in the community have realized how important exercise is to keeping your immunity boosted up. So, and exercise can have a big part of that.
Other health tips that are always applicable, but especially during the pandemic: eat a healthy and nutritious diet, which helps your immune system to function properly. Limit alcohol consumption and avoid sugary drinks. Don't smoke. Smoking can increase your risk of developing severe disease if you become infected with COVID-19.
A lot of people have different whys why they come into the gym, whether it's, you know, to keep the weight off, sports, you know, injury prevention, maybe sports to get faster, build their endurance. Exercise can help increase your mood, better sleep. There's just, you know, a ton of different benefits for exercise. And, Saipan, we're super fortunate that we have like summer all the time. So there's tons of outdoor activities to do. But also coming into the gym, getting, you know, strength training at least 2 times a week is really important. And as we get older, you know, it's really important to work on our balance. It's really important to work on our strength too.
On Guam, hospital occupancy increases as the island sees a fast rise in positive COVID cases. The solution? Chairman of the Governor's Physicians Advisory Group says there are 2 factors. KUAM's Thomas Maglonia.
Hafaday Sinamay, here's what's making news on Guam. Triple-digit positive cases almost every day and peaking hospitalizations. It doesn't seem likely at this point we will see any new restrictions to control the spread of COVID on island. Here's a closer look at a possible reason why.
KUAM spoke with the head of the governor's physicians advisory group, Dr. Nathaniel Berg, on the link Friday morning.
We can't stop the spread.
So is the plan for COVID to turn from a pandemic to an endemic disease on Guam? According to an article last month from the Harvard School of Public Health, the optimistic view of experts is that enough people will gain immune protection from vaccination and from natural infection such that there will be less transmission and less COVID-19 related hospitalization and death, even as the virus continues to circulate.
I wouldn't say it's a plan per se, but ultimately that description's not far off, which is that as long as we can keep people, I don't like the part, it is true that unfortunately some people are going to get sick, but that's going to be predominantly the non-vaccinated, almost exclusively. Not all, there are exceptions, but almost exclusively that it's going to be the non-vaccinated. That's why we're trying to encourage them, saying, hey, look, you're taking a risk that you don't need to take, and unfortunately spreading it more so. But yes, ultimately, once there's been a combination of exposure and natural immunity and vaccination, we will win. We just have to pray, because there's nothing else you can do, that there isn't the new Q variant that comes along. We hope that this will be the end of it.
In the past 30 days, there have been 3,533 new positive cases and 29 COVID-related fatalities. Hospitalizations have increased from 1 month ago, ranging from the 20s to 30s, now in the 70s to 80s. Also in the past month, more than 600 children under the age of 11 have tested positive for COVID, and breakthrough cases have recently increased to 37% of the daily cases.
We know that as a side thing that's going on, that it is spreading out in the community. We know there's community spread, but that we're trying to do everything we can to minimize the impact that has on the community. I'm not saying that's our plan. I'm saying we know that that is happening, and we're making every effort we can to slow down that develop of an endemic virus. We're doing everything we can to slow down the negative impact that has on our community as a whole. And again, reiterating, keeping people out of the hospital, preventing people from ever getting there, and trying to keep those hospital beds open by treatment for those who do develop illness.
Under the current executive orders, only individuals who have received at least one shot of the vaccine are able to visit establishments like restaurants, bars, and fitness centers. These same establishments are able to operate at 100% capacity. Additionally, social gatherings are allowed for maximum indoors for 10 vaccinated individuals and outdoors 25. The governor has also mandated all employees in the executive branch and private sector covered under her order be vaccinated or submit to weekly COVID testing. Everyone is advised to continue wearing your mask, watch your distance, wash your hands, and get the shot.
Stay informed 24/7 by checking out KUM.com or downloading the KUM News app available for iOS or Android. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tomas Mangolonia.
Thank you. Coming up, the return of baseball. Kinda, sorta, better than nothing, just like KSPN2 Sports.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
Enjoy September with our Smoothie of the Month, specially priced at $5.50. Blueberry meets mango, and the results are healthy and delicious. Bananas and strawberries are also joining the party along with cinnamon and granola. It's the Smoothie of the Month at Gold's Gym, specially priced at $5.50. Fast food that's good for you too. Gold's Gym, you're a fan.
I got my COVID vaccine. How about you?
আমার আছে কোভিড-19 টিকা আপনার আছে কি
ได้รับวัคซีนโควิด -19 แล้วนะคะแล้วคุณล่ะคะได้รับวัคซีนหรือยัง
Tapos na po ako magpa-COVID-19 vaccine. Kayo naman po. Tapos na rin ba?
I did it. I did it for you.
Do it.
Do it for us.
I did it for my friends. I did it for my family.
I did it for my daughter.
Let's do it together.
The Tan Su Lin Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans, Guam participates in the Olympics. Puerto Rico participates in the Olympics. Why can't the CNMI? Well, it's our version of Unsolved Mysteries. There are more national Olympic committees than there are members of the United Nations, 206 to 193. For example, Guam is in the Olympic family, but the Northern Mariana Islands is not, even though we submitted an application before they did. NMASA President Jerry Tan trying to figure out what happened.
We are examining, what happened in the late 80s because we did submit application to IOC, and for whatever reason that I'm still trying to, understand, we were not granted. But that's a long time ago.
Joining the Olympics is one of his goals.
Quest for Olympic has been on my mind since I was elected as a president, January last year, and obviously it's a difficult journey. It's complicated, and it's kind of new to this myself.
Figuring what happened back then is kind of like the Amelia Earhart mystery. No one really knows.
So I don't have anything definite that I can say at this time. But as far as NAMSA is concerned, it is our ultimate goal and dream to see our athlete to be able to participate in Olympics, just like many of our Oceania brothers and sisters.
The NMI is not the only Oceania member not in the Olympics. For example, Tahiti is not. Inoki Bainimarama from the Oceania National Olympic Committee says these Pacific Games can help us.
I can also say that as in any event that you organize, there are obviously going to be a few challenges that you have to sort of work through on the way and navigate. Facilities will be one of the bigger ones, and if we can go back to what the typhoon did, and obviously we heard from the Secretary Guerrero yesterday on government's investment in working and the partnerships with the sports association as well as the organizing committee in trying to tick off to make sure the venues are in place. In fact, it's the module we're going through today. There's a module we're doing on events and facility management. So we're going to work through with the participants on how they ensure that the venues are in a proper condition. They tick off the international requirements for competition. They tick off the broadcast requirements, because obviously we're going to broadcast the games outside of CNMI.
Quest for Olympic continues, and we will not give up until all efforts are exhausted.
Well, one of the sports to be played here next summer is tennis. And that's our best gold medal chance, I would have to say. That's because defending men's singles gold medalist Colin Sinclair is expected to return to Saipan for those games. Over the weekend, the Saipan-born netter led the Oceania men's team to a Davis Cup opening round victory over Syria and moving them up to the second round for the first time in 11 years. Way to go, Oceania. Baseball, remember baseball? Well, it's been a while. We haven't had any baseball here in a couple of years. Hopefully that's going to change in the very near future, or in the future. Plans to upgrade Palacios ball field using FEMA disaster funds are in the works, but a timeline is a concern, says Ben Babada, CEO of the Mini Games.
No sugarcoating, Bob.
No sugarcoating.
The entire team is working hard on the back end in terms of FEMA. The POA is working hard, but at the end of the day, we are chasing time, and hopefully they could deliver. If not, early next year. We're pushing now into January, February in terms of completion. So with that said, obviously yet to be completed.
The Saipan Baseball League welcomes all interested players for the national team to go to the sports complex there at the Olei Sports Field there. Saturday, October the 4th at 10 in the morning. The league will use the backfield to emphasize throwing, running, and defense while waiting for the big field to open, which Namasa has closed. The last Saipan Baseball League was 2019, and that was won by the CK Bears. The last junior and senior leagues to play were in 2018. Meanwhile, Palau's already played 2 leagues this year, and Guam just finished their season this summer with a record number of teams. So let's go CNMI. We'll be back with the weather report right after this timeout.
Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Buy one, get one free for the off-road adventure at Marianas Trekking. Come ride our side-by-sides at our best price ever and experience a great 90-minute trail ride. Rain or shine, hopefully rain. Book now at Marianas Trekking. Saturdays and Sundays by reservation. Call 323-8735 or book at marianastrekking.com.
Our high temperature today, 89, the low 79, humidity 70%. Tomorrow, more of the same. Light winds, high around up 89 or 90 maybe, low 79, maybe 80. Seas 3 to 5. Sunrise at 6 past 6, high tide in the morning, the low tide in the afternoon, sunset at 6:14 Tuesday. That is your Monday's news, sports, and weather. Thank you so much for watching. See you back here Wednesday.